doctors, have different backgrounds. So they've been really building a good broad team to not just the staff or the faculty, but really look at all of this guidance that's out there, and then trying to look at what we can do as a parish and the school. And so putting all that together, it's been they've got a very extensive plan, um, and now even though it's what I guess about a month away from the beginning of school, so they'll have a lot to do in the next 4 weeks to get there. But sounds like they've made good progress, so that's good.
Yeah, I need to check that out. I
Yeah,
loved how the way the parish handled masses.
yeah,
It was just so organized and smooth, and so I'm
yep,
sure
yeah,
the school opening will be the same.
yep. So for those of you that are just joining us, this is Whitney Allen and myself, Deacon Tim, and we're just letting people tune in here. We've got an exciting announcement. We'll get started here in just a minute or so. We were kind of just talking through some of the things going on around the parish and the schools. It's getting ready to gear up, even though we're still, I guess right now we're sort of dead center in the middle of summer. So, but obviously there's a lot of planning going in. I know I'm actually working on the plan for the parish side. So how do we have meetings? What does it mean to
Right.
have a parish meeting or ministry getting together? So there's a lot going on there too to pull together. And really the biggest thing we're going to have to wrestle with is how do we get people in and out of the building? Usually we just leave the building open in the evenings and people come in for their meetings and then they leave. But we're having to be much more controlled about entry into the building and all of the things you need to do to screen, make sure people are coming in and are healthy and haven't been showing any symptoms. So yeah, a lot happening. We're putting it all together. But tonight, for those of you that are just joining us, Whitney and I are here because in 1 week, actually just slightly under 1 week by about an hour and a half, or no,
That's right.
we are going to start Catholics Returning Home. And we've been doing that series for about almost 14 years now here at Christ the King. So, and we're doing something a little different using the technology we have. We're going to have a virtual Catholics Returning Home. So we wanted to just spend a few minutes and tell everybody out there that's listening, who maybe have friends, neighbors, family members who are away from the church. We want to extend an invitation to everybody watching this to turn around and extend an invitation to your family, friends, and coworkers who are away from the church to come back to Catholics Returning Home. So, Whitney, tell me, you've been leading this ministry for a couple of years now almost, and just talk about what's quickly net it out. What is Catholics Returning Home for somebody who's listening?
It's 6 weeks long. It's one night a week for a couple hours on that night, and it's really just a great fundamental recap of the faith. Just kind of you think about people who've been away for a little while, whether it be a year or 30 years. It gives you a nice safe place to come back and relearn a lot. I personally forgot a lot of things when I was gone and came back, and so it's just a nice foundation. And it's also a private setting where you can ask questions and kind of get those fundamentals back.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the first 2 weeks, the first two of the 6 weeks, and by the way, just in case it is going to be virtual. We're in this time of pandemic, so we thought we'd use the technology to make this virtual. So, which is a beautiful thing because a lot of people have told us over the years, it's a really hard thing if you've been away from the church for a long period of time to think about coming back and walking in the building and walking into a room with people you don't know. It can be an intimidating thing. So, I think that hopefully we're hoping people feel a little more comfortable. We'll give them Zoom information so they can just click on their computer. They're sitting in their living room and they can join right in. So keep that in mind. And the first 2 weeks, we really just spend kind of getting to know people, letting them share their story. Uh, we do have some discussion things we do, but it's really those first couple of weeks are really just about letting people talk about their situation, where they've been, what they're thinking about, um, and just kind of share that and see their things they hold in common with the other folks that are participating and so on. And then we kind of move into 3 weeks of some focused topics. So we're very, I know you've enjoyed this. We have Bishop John coming in for the third week. He just talks about kind of what's going on in the church. And I don't know, you were there last time when he was here. Let's talk about what Bishop John does on that third night.
Yeah, he breaks down Vatican II and what the church looked like leading up to Vatican II, and what it looks like now. And he does such a beautiful job of, it's just a really comprehensive history, where he explains where the church was, and how we've come, and how we've moved through our time and leading through Vatican II. And he's so knowledgeable and just easy to listen to, and just puts everybody at ease. And all the participants love that session. It's the third week, as you mentioned, and I think it really kind of seals a lot of people into continuing on with the commitment to return when they see Bishop John and hear what he has to say and his knowledge and love for the church.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that many of the participants just love, and Bishop Gaynor before Bishop John was the same way. They just loved when he would come in. And they're very approachable, both men, but Bishop John, very approachable. So that's kind of a neat thing. I think, gosh, I can sit here with Bishop John and just have a conversation. So it's really neat. So he'll be here for the third week. And then the fourth week kind of makes another point here. We are teaming up with Mary Queen of the Holy Rosary, who also does Catholics Returning Home. We typically alternate one parish than the other, but we thought over the summer like this and doing this virtual way, we wanted to team up. So 2 of the team members are going to come from Mary Queen, and and then on the fourth night, Father Dan Knoll is coming to talk about the Mass and Eucharist. So again, the central worship experience we have is the Mass. And it's so important to who we are as the Catholic Church and community of faith. And so Father Dan's going to be here from Mary Queen to share his perspective on the Mass and again, answer questions that people have. And the thing I really love about Catholics Returning Home, they're typically all small groups, anywhere from like sort of 3 to 10. We don't know how many. I think right now we've got 4 people signed up. We hope we get more. But it's a small group, and the fact that we'll be able to all be in our homes and in our comfortable environments, this is not a lecture. You're not going to be lectured to by Father Dan or Bishop John. It's going to be a real conversation, and I think we will obviously learn some things, but it's really about them ministering to whoever comes and participates. So that's our fourth night, and then on our fifth night, I think everybody's going to be really. If you know Father Ray Stratman, you're just going to have a delightful time as he comes and talks to us about the sacrament of reconciliation and sin and moral decision making. And Father Ray just is, if there's anybody that can convey the mercy of God, it's Father Ray Stratman. And so he's, as you know, he's retired. He's living at the Cathedral Rectory, but he loves to come and one of the things he loves at this point in his life is to be able to come to the Catholics Returning Home community and share his perspective on Jesus' mercy, the sacrament of reconciliation. So I think that people have a great joy when he comes in to speak. And then, Whitney, what happens on that last night? What do we kind of do on the last night to wrap it up?
So on the last night, we go over the creed, and we break it down kind of line by line and talk about what each line means. And people have time to talk about it, ask questions. We also go over the precepts of the church and what's next. How do you take those next steps into returning to your faith? And some people have already started coming back to church at that time and have made their confession if they've been away for a while. And, so it's a little bit of a refresher for them. And some people it'll be, their next step is going to Mass. And maybe they've been away for a while. And so it's just a nice wrap up for people to kind of get an idea of how to continue past those 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So So I think it's for again for those of you that are watching, just if you know somebody who's away from the church, and just invite them to come and participate. And we're not about twisting arms or elbows, and we're not about debating and having we just want to just give people an opportunity to consider returning to an active life within the Catholic Church. And you know just and there's a team of people. The beautiful thing about the team is at least two of this team I know are people that have been away from the church and have come back through Catholics. Well, let's say Catholics Returning Home played a part in their return to the faith, and Whitney, you're one of those like that. So I think it was 5 years ago or so you came through. Just maybe give us sort of a thumbnail sketch of where you came from to get there, and then what the experience was like for you.
Sure. I'd fallen away from the church late in high school, and I would kind of wander back and forth and um, back into the church when I was struggling with something, and but I'd really been away from the faith, and through some difficult challenges in my life, I decided that I couldn't do this alone, and I needed some strength, and the only place I was going to get that was back at church, but I didn't even know where to start. And so I saw the promotion for the Catholics Returning Home at the Cathedral. I was actually driving by one day and just saw a big banner out front, and called, and I was terrified to go and didn't know anybody, and I'd never been to the basement of the cathedral, and I was kind of scared and lost. And but through those 6 weeks, it just reignited my desire and confirmed that was where I was going to find healing in my life. And then it just kind of exploded into me having a really robust faith life community at the parish. And that was 5 years ago, and now I'm helping to facilitate Catholics Returning Home, which I wouldn't have said would be doing in five years ago. So it's a really special ministry, that I hold near to my heart, and I think it really impacts a lot of people.
Very good. I was just seeing if I could type fast enough here. I wanted to show everybody. Of course, I didn't get it right. What am I doing inside of Google? Ah. Um, so for those of you that are sitting out there, I did want to flash up here. I'm going to actually, if this thing works, for some reason it doesn't want to. So you should never fight with Google. When Google's trying to tell you something, you listen to Google. So here we go. I want to just share this real quick for everybody. If you know somebody or you want some more information and you want to register, this is going to be done by Zoom. So you need to register ahead of time, and then we'll give those that want to participate the Zoom invitation for next Sunday. It's going to start next Sunday at 6:30 p.m. And again, you can do this from the comfort of your home. But if you look up here, hopefully, are you seeing the screen, Whitney?
Yes.
Okay. It's a very simple registration form. Just give us your name, your email, and your phone number. Hit submit, and that'll get somebody in touch with you. More than likely, it'll be Whitney, and she'll just reach out to you and answer any questions you have. And then if you want to participate, she'll be putting you on the list, and we'll get a Zoom invite out to you before next Sunday evening. So I just wanted to show everybody that. It's cathedralctk.org/CRH registration. CRH registration. It'll come up, and then you can just, that's how we'll know you want to participate. So now if tonight's not enough to convince you, then you can come back tomorrow night at this same time. And who's going to be here with us, Whitney?
Judy from Mary Queen, who's a member of the team. She'll be with us.
So spread the word over there at Mary Queen, and we're going to have Judy here and kind of share her story. She's on a team for the first time. She's a more recent participant in Catholics Returning Home, so we're interested to hear her perspective. And again, gosh, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me or Whitney. On Facebook, I'm just going to look over there. I don't think I saw any questions a second ago. So I see Casey Phillips is on, another team member who's gonna join us. So please spread the word. Let people know they can do this from their home through Zoom, and we'd love to have some more folks join us and experience Catholics Returning Home. 6 weeks, 6 weeks worth your time. Be a great experience for you. You'll be with a great team. And again, you'll get Bishop John and Father Dan and Father Ray, a great package of people coming to speak during the 6 weeks. So for now, we'll go ahead and sign off, and we thank you for your time. And spread the word. This video will be out on both our Facebook and YouTube. You can show this to anybody. Hopefully they'll get a good, crisp idea of what the series is all about and how to register. So thank you all so much. Have a blessed evening, and we'll talk to you soon.